Welcome friends, once again myself Pranav Shukla, welcome you to my online tutorial. Our today's concern is grammar from the new grammar tree from Oxford, class 8. We're going for 7 number chapter, that is modal verb. We've already gone through part 1 where we have seen the concept of modal verb and different modal verbs with their usages. So on the basis of this discussion, now we are going to solve the exercises given in the book. Hope you understood and remembered the previous discussion. If you have not, then again go for the first part video. That is highly recommended. So I'm taking you to the textbook of yours very quickly. So here you have your textbook, and we have now some exercises, some blanks over there. Fill in the blanks choosing the correct modal verb from the given table. We have been given should, ought, can, might, dare, can, must, nint, may, could. So let's see. You better remember the usages that we have discussed in the first video, the first part I should say. So first one, a person accused in the High Court can appeal to the Supreme Court. He's got the permission, he's got the ability of doing this. Another use can also be should, but it is advisable to him, it is recommended to him. You can also go for might. It is a high probability that he could go toward the Supreme Court and appeal for that. So it depends on the situation. Second one, it is getting very cloudy, so there is a probability of rain, so it may rain. Then third one, sir, blank, I ask a question, so he's seeking for the permission, and even to sir, that is highly formal, so you should better go for may I ask a question. Then comes patrons, blank, get their tickets refunded within 7 days of purchase. So either must, that is abided by the rule, ought to get, should get. So all the possibilities are there. You have had this cough for several days. You now should see a doctor. You ought to see a doctor. You can also go for it. As far as COVID cases are concerned right now in the current situation, it's must see a doctor. You blank not speak to me like that ever again. So here it comes to the kind of, I would say, I would like to again remind you the use of dare. See here, it is warning, admonition, so you better go for it. So you dare not speak to me like that ever again. It is a warning. Otherwise, you have to be ready for some dire consequences. I don't think we should take photographs here. It is advisable. It is something moral. I know I ought to tell the truth, that is highly moral. It is a necessity over there, but I'm afraid. What fun! We needn't bring our books tomorrow. Necessity. Could you please clear the table off after you've eaten? There is a very polite request, starting with could being a question. Now, negated forms of these modal auxiliaries, they can also be called as contractions. So can has got cannot, but it should be in contraction form, could be called as can't. Could is couldn't, shall is shan't, should is shouldn't, will is won't, would is wouldn't, may and might are not obviously used in the contraction form, so they should be avoided in the contraction form. Mayn't or mightn't should not be spoken. Must is mustn't. Mustn't is not spoken there. Dare again is it's not daren't, it is dare not. Need is nint, it's not needn't. Ought is oughtn't to. So these are the contraction form. The negative form of modal verb may, might, and dare does not have a shortened form, so they should not be used over there by you by any mistake. Now, some characteristics are given of modal verbs. I told you right in the beginning in the first part, modal verbs don't get affected by the subject's person or number. Even they do not have any infinitive or participle form. Well, they don't really get changed according to the subject or in any other situation. So they should be kept in your mind. First characteristic, they are not affected by the number or person of the subject. Suppose she, if play is normal verb, then it should be plays or played, or if it is continuous tense, she is playing. If other than she, if you have I, then I am playing. If it is we, then we are playing. But can remain same with all the kind of nouns or pronoun. So she can play the piano, you can play the guitar, I can sing. It goes in the same way with everything. Second example, together, we can put up a great show. Again, can remains same no matter what the noun or the pronoun is. They do not have infinitive or participle form. They simply go in the bare infinitive form followed by it of the main verb. So can is always can, nothing other than this. So he can solve any problem you bring to him. We can say the same thing using an infinitive as follows. He is able to solve. So if you don't have can, you can go for to be and able. It's never like he can be able to solve. It is he is able to solve. So can and able cannot be used together. But if you go for able, then the main verb is followed by it should be in the full infinitive form. So there is a difference between can and able. They can form interrogative sentences by inversion. It is the same with the other primary auxiliaries. So we should first meet the class teacher. Modals have a broad range and many shades of meaning. A lot depends upon how they are used. This is also told to you earlier. One model, number of models can be used for the same kind of mood or the situation. Can to express disbelief. Your car is stolen. That can't be. मतलब ये मैं मान नहीं सकता कि तुम्हारी कार चोरी हो गई. I just can't believe this. So that shows your disbelief. Could to express speculation means assumption. Someone is knocking the door. Who could it be at that late hour? कोई दरवाजा खटखट रहा है. कौन हो सकता है? So you are guessing, you are speculating, you are assuming who could be. Might to express suggestion. So if you were feeling too unwell, if you were feeling so unwell, you might have gone to the doctor. So this might is not probability, it is a suggestion. It works like should. You should have gone to the doctor. Must to express polite firmness. For example, we are giving a party next Saturday, you and your friend must come. That must is not compulsion at the cost of punishment. This must is insistence. You are being insisted very politely, very lovably to come down to the party. Okay, now respond to the situations below appropriately using the modal verbs can or could. So can, simply could, you just better remember the use of can and could. I'm again showing it to you. See, can, especially in the question form, can you see that either permission or request or suggestion? Can you shift down a bit? That is in the form of suggestion. Or could again goes with the same thing, polite request or permission. But suggestion is not applicable to could. So there is a difference. Now remember that. Okay. you just bought a dress. Now out of this situation you have to do what? See, ask the assistant for a receipt. So it's a very polite request. Could you please get me the receipt? Can is more of ability or suggestion over there. So it's better go for could. You are in a restaurant. You want to see the menu. आप रेस्टोरेंट में आप मेनू देखना चाहते हैं तो you can just ask in a form of suggestion or a very firm permission or request, I can say. It's more of request than any other thing. Can I see the menu? You are busy with something, you want your friend to wait for some time. So could you please wait for some time? It's a very polite request. You want to know the time, ask someone in the street. Again, go for polite request. Could you please tell me the time? You are on the phone. You want to speak to the manager. Can I speak to the manager? It's I can say a request, but in a very firm manner. An important guest is arriving. Ask your colleague to pick her up at the airport. So it's a very polite request, very polite, very mild one. Can you please pick up my important guest at the airport? You want to borrow a book from a friend, request permission from your teacher. Can I borrow a book from my friend? It is a formal permission. Your friend is overweight, you should suggest suggestion. Better go for, I would say, can. Can you not stop eating oily food? Also go for could, but can is more appropriate. Or you can go for even affirmative. You could stop eating oily food. That is a suggestion. You are running late for an appointment. Your mother insists that you leave immediately. So you insist is a bit intensive one, so you better go for can't. Can't you leave at once? It is an angry annoyance as you are running late for the appointment. He didn't score the winning goal. His shot was inaccurate. So he could shot accurately. He could have shot or he could have hit accurately. So you could go for that kind of assumption, speculation, using what? Could. Now modal auxiliary and tenses. We have certain modal auxiliaries can be used in both the tenses, present and past. Say may and might, can and could, shall and should, will and would. So let's see. Modal auxiliaries do not have different forms in different tenses other than their usual form. Look at the following examples. He might visit her grandmother next week. And as I told you earlier, might is regarded to be the past tense of may, but can also be used in present form, just to show the mild probability. So that is now proven over there. They could not buy tickets. That is the reference of the past. The vase can tip over and fall any moment. Reference of future. That will be happening if you don't be careful. I would like to show you that is again the reference of future, but using the past tense of will. That is showing the desire or wish or likelihood. He should have said goodbye to her before leaving. That is a reference of past. But should can also be used for present. So fill in the blanks in the following sentences with appropriate modal verbs. In some cases, you might need a negated modal verb. You blank have told your mother the truth. आपने आपकी माँ को, आपकी माताजी को सच्चाई बता देनी चाहिए थी. Advisable, recommended, you should have told. That is perfect modal auxiliary. He was sorry that he wouldn't be able to come tomorrow. He wouldn't be able to come. Future possibility, desirability, probability. I can't tell you this, it is a secret. Inability. If you like, I can help you with the project. That shows the willingness to or ability to do something. I would can also work. She should or must or ought, that depends on the intensity. Submit the assignment today itself. Sally saw the letter, but she did not dare to open it. हिम्मत नहीं थी. If your house was burgled, you ought to file an FIR. To is there, otherwise we could have gone for should. You need to file. That is also is highly needed over there. She asked me if I would like to come. That is the somebody's liking or wish or desire. Could or would you please pass the butter? That is a polite request. Shouldn't tease your sister so much. That is the moral duty or advisability or suggestion. Fill in the blanks in the following sentence with need or needn't. You need to eat sensibly to stay fit and healthy. आपको थोड़ा कम खाने की जरूरत है. तो need is obviously needed. Need I call John just now for he is coming tomorrow to visit me? Can go for need or needn't. उसको बुलाने की जरूरत है, वो अभी कल तो आ ही रहा है, तो क्या सही में जरूरत है? Something like that. She needn't have watered the plants as it is going to rain again. जरूरत नहीं है plants को पानी देने की, because already rain हो रही है. So needn't. We needn't read the whole book. The first 2 chapters will do. पूरी बुक पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. शुरू के 2 चैप्टर भी पढ़ लेंगे तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा what exactly is the agenda of the book. We can all hear you quite well. हम सुन सकते हैं, आपको चिल्लाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Needn't shout. Now underline the correct option in the following sentence and rewrite. Notice at the zoo. तो notice में तो सब compulsory करना ही पड़ता है. तो obviously you must not feed the animals. Animals को खिलाने की जरूरत है, मतलब आपको नहीं खिलाना है. So it's not necessity, it is obligation. You need not take leave from work because you must take the medicines regularly. But you must take. अभी काम से छुट्टी लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट दवाई ले सकते हो. तो दवाई ले रहे हो तो छुट्टी लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. We need not drive so fast. This is बहुत टाइम है तो ज्यादा फास्ट चलाने की जरूरत नहीं है. So need. Notice that school. Notice at the school. स्कूल का नोटिस है. नोटिस है तो नोटिस है, मतलब you have to be compulsorily observing it. Lifts must not be used during the fire drill. फायर ड्रिल में लिफ्ट यूज कर सकते हो, लेकिन करनी नहीं है. दैट इज अ स्ट्रिंजेंट रूल ओवर देयर. You need not send me a formal invitation letter. वो कोई कार्ड की जरूरत नहीं है, मैं ऐसे ही आ जाऊंगा, तो जरूरत नहीं है. I'll be very happy to be present at the ceremony. So you do think of the situation better, analyze it, and then put the appropriate modal auxiliary, and you'll get the grip only through practice. Let's have some revision. एप्रोप्रिएट मॉडल रखना है उधर। I can do my brother's homework for him, but I wouldn't or I shouldn't. मैं कर सकता हूं लेकिन मैं करूंगा नहीं और मुझे नहीं करना चाहिए। You could easily make a fool of her. अब उसको तो easily उल्लू बना सकते हो, but you couldn't, but you cannot. You could easily make a fool of her, but you couldn't, but you wouldn't. but आप करोगे नहीं, but you shouldn't. You would love to go on the picnic with us too. उसको आना तो अच्छा लगता है लेकिन वो आएगा नहीं, but he wouldn't, but he won't. लेकिन वो आ नहीं सका, but he couldn't. Couldn't is a better option. They think that we will support them. उसको ऐसा लगा कि हम सपोर्ट करेंगे, बट हमने नहीं किया और हम नहीं करने वाले, but we wouldn't. She tried to open the jammed window. वो कोशिश की खोलने की, जो खिड़की जैम हो गई थी, बट वो खोल नहीं सकी, but she couldn't. I thought my phone would function after the repair. मुझे excuse me, मुझे ऐसा लगा कि रिपेयर होने के बाद मेरा फोन काम करेगा, बट उसने किया नहीं, but it didn't, but it wouldn't or it couldn't. I could reveal his secret to anyone. मैं वो उसका सीक्रेट सबको बता सकता हूँ, लेकिन मैं करूंगा नहीं, but I wouldn't, I needn't or I shouldn't. मुझे करना नहीं चाहिए, मुझे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. I'd love to help you but I can't. मुझे आपको मदद करना अच्छा लगता, करना चाहता था, लेकिन मैं नहीं कर सकता बिकॉज मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है, but I can't. You're stronger than him. तो उससे ज्यादा बलवान हो, लेकिन तुम्हें उसको परेशान नहीं करना है, उसको मारना पीटना नहीं. You shouldn't bully him, harass him. I would be happy to live with you. तुम्हारे साथ रहना मुझे अच्छा लगता, बट जरूरत नहीं है बिकॉज मुझे मेरी खुद की जगह है रहने के लिए. But I needn't as I have a place of my own. So it's all about understanding, friends. It's all about more than one answers. So more understanding, more precision, more correct answers. So better watch the video, re-watch it, solve the exercises, and come up with your doubts if you have. Free to ask me. Hope you understood and enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. We'll soon meet for the next session.